to tonight's 1 year Bible read on the two channels. What are they? One, the first channel is the Limitless Core channel. It's the one that's the whole year on. And the other one is one we just started recently. The Core Extended on TikTok, baby. Y'all been here for about a little over a month now. Or maybe just about at a month, actually. So y'all just got started. YouTube, we've been rocking for a minute. But welcome back, everybody. This is day 328 in a row of our 1 year Bible read. And tonight's read is coming from the 25th of November. Why the 25th and not the 23rd? We started 2 days early, man. You feel me? We started 2 days early, so it only makes sense that we're 2 days early in the read, right? Because we haven't skipped any days, and we keep going forward every single day. So it seems like we're always going to be 2 days ahead. But let's go ahead and get into tonight's Big Mac Ray. You changed your name, bro. Good to see you, bro. Tonight we're going to be reading from Daniel 1:1 through 2, 1 to verse 23. We're going to follow up with, where's my next verse at? Oh, 1 Peter 3 through 8, 8 through 4, actually. And then Psalms 119, 65 through 80. And then we're going to wrap up the night with Proverbs 28, 14. Check my video, and you know why. Bet. What's up, bro? I'll be checking your videos to find out why. But welcome to day 328, and without further ado, we're gonna get into Daniel 1 through 2, 1 through verse 23. Okay, during the third year of King Joachim's reign in Judah, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came to Jerusalem and besieged it. The Lord gave him victory over King Joachim of Judah and permitted him to take some of the sacred objects from the temple of God. So Nebuchadnezzar took them back to the land of Babylonia and placed them in the treasure house of his God. Then the king ordered Aspenaz, his chief of staff, to bring to the palace some of the young men of Judah's royal family and other noble families who had been brought to Babylon as captives. Select only strong, healthy, and good-looking young men, he said. Make sure they are well-versed in every branch of learning and gifted with knowledge and good judgment, and are suited to serve in the royal palace. Train these young men into the language and literature of Babylon. The king assigned them a daily ration of food and wine from his own kitchens. They were to be trained for 3 years, and then they would enter the royal service. Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah were 4 of the young men chosen, all from the tribe of Judah. The chief of staff renamed them with these Babylonian names. Daniel was called Bethshazur, Hananiah was called Shadrach, Mishael was called Meshach, Azariah was called Abednego. But Daniel was determined not to defile himself by eating the food and wine given to him by the king. He asked the chief of staff for permission not to eat these unacceptable foods. Excuse me. Now to give the chief of staff both respect and affection for Daniel, but he responded, I'm afraid of my lord the king, who has ordered that you eat his food and wine. If you become pale and thin compared to the other youths your age, I'm afraid the king will have me beheaded. Daniel spoke with the attendant who had been appointed by the chief of staff to look after Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Please test us for 10 days on a diet of vegetables and water, Daniel said. At the end of the 10 days, see how we look compared to the other young men who are eating the king's food. Then make your decision in light of what you see. The attendant agreed to Daniel's suggestion and tested them for 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, Daniel and his 3 friends looked healthier and better nourished than the young men who had been eating the food assigned by the king, so that the attendant fed them only vegetables instead of the food and wine provided for the others. God gave these 4 young men an unusual aptitude for understanding every aspect of literature and wisdom. And God gave Daniel the special ability to interpret the meaning of visions and dreams. When the training period ordered by the king was completed, the chief of staff brought all the young men to King Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked with them, and no one impressed him as much as Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Excuse me. So they entered the royal service, and whether the king consulted in any manner, requiring wisdom and balanced judgment. He found them 10 times more capable than any of the other magicians and enchanters in his entire kingdom. They remained in the royal service until the first year of the reign of King Cyrus. One night during the 2nd year of his reign, Nebuchadnezzar had such disturbing dreams that he couldn't sleep. He called in his magicians, enchanters, sorcerers, and astrologers, and he demanded that they tell him what he had dreamed of. As they stood before the king, he said, I've had a dream that deeply troubles me, and I must know what it all means. The astrologers answered the king in Aramaic, "Long live the king. Tell us a dream, and we will tell you what it means." But the king said to the astrologers, "I am serious about this. If you don't tell me what it's about and what it means, you'll be torn limb from limb, and your houses will be turned into heaps of trouble. But if you tell me what I dreamed and what the dreams mean, I'll give you many wonderful gifts and honors. Just tell me the dream and what it means." They said again, "Please, your majesty, tell us the dream, and we will tell you what it means." The king replied, "I know what you are doing. You're stalling for time because you know I am serious when I say, if you don't tell me the dream, you are doomed. So you have conspired to tell me lies, hoping I will change my mind. Tell me the dream, and then I'll know that you can tell me what it means." The astrologers replied to the king, "No one on earth can tell the king his dream, and no king, however great and powerful, has ever asked such a thing of any magician, enchanter, or astrologer." The king demanded, the king's demand is impossible. No one except gods can tell you your dream, and they do not live here among people. The king was furious when he heard this, and he ordered that all the wise men of Babylon be executed. And because of the king's decree, men were sent to find and kill Daniel and his friends. When Arioch, the commander of the king's guard, came to kill them, Daniel handled the situation with wisdom and discretion. He asked Arioch, "Why has the king issued such a harsh decree?" So Arioch told him all that had happened. Daniel went at once to see the king and requested more time to tell the king what the dream meant. Then Daniel went home and told his friends Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah what had happened. He urged them to ask the God of heaven to show them his mercy by telling them the secret, so they would not be executed along with the other wise men of Babylon. That night the secret was revealed to Daniel in a vision. Then Daniel praised the God of heaven, and he said, "Praise the name of God forever and ever, for he has all wisdom and power. He controls the course of the world's events, and he removes kings and sets up other kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to the scholars. He reveals deep and mysterious things and knows what lies in hidden darkness. Though he is surrounded by light, I thank you and praise you, my ancestors, for you have given me wisdom and strength. You have told me what we asked of you, revealed to us what the king demanded." And now let's get into 1 Peter 3:8 through 4, going to verse 6. How you doing, Jennifer? How you doing, Chrissy? How you doing, Raph? Good to see you, Raph. Always good to see you, Raph. How you doing? I think Flower. Nice to meet you. I can't tell. I'm trying to look at names. This is either Scott or Flower that's in chat. Nice to meet you both. But let's get into 1 Peter 3:8 through 4, going to verse 6. Finally, all of you should be of one mind. Sympathize with each other. Love each other as brothers and sisters. Be tenderhearted and keep humble attitude. Don't repay evil for evil, and don't retaliate with insults when people insult you. Instead, pay them back with a blessing. This is what God has called you to do, and he will give his blessing. For the scriptures say, if you want to enjoy life and see many happy days, keep your tongue from speaking evil, and your lips from telling lies. Turn away from evil and do good, and search for peace and work to maintain it. The eyes of the Lord watch over those who do right, and his ears to their prayers. But the Lord turns his face against those who do evil. Now, who will want to harm you if you were eager to do good? But even if you suffer for doing what is right, God will reward you for it. So don't worry or be afraid of their threats. Instead, you must worship Christ as Lord of your life. And if someone asks about your hope as a believer, always be ready to explain it. But do this in a gentle and respectful way. Keep your conscience clear. Then if people speak against you, they will be ashamed when they see what a good life you live because you belong to Christ. Remember, it is better to suffer for doing good if it is what God wants than to suffer for doing wrong. Christ suffered for our sins once for all time. He never sinned, but he died for sinners to bring you safely home to God. He suffered physical death, but he was raised to life in the spirit. So he went and preached to the spirits in prison, those who disobeyed God long ago when God waited patiently while Noah was building the boat. Only 8 people were saved from drowning in that terrible flood, and that water is a picture of baptism, which now saves you, not by removing dirt from your body, but as a response to God from a clean conscience. It is effective because of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now Christ has gone to heaven. He is seated in the place of honor next to God, and all the angels and authorities and power accept his authority. So then, since Christ suffered physical pain, you must arm yourselves with the same attitude he had, and be ready to suffer too. For if you have suffered physically for Christ, you have finished with sin. You won't spend the rest of your lives chasing your own desires, but you will be anxious to do the will of God. You have done enough in the past of the evil things that godly people enjoy. their immorality and lust, their feasting and drunkenness and wild parties, and their terrible worship of idols. Of course, your former friends are surprised no longer plunge into the flood of wild and destructive things they do. So they slander you. But remember that they will have to face God, who stands ready to judge everyone, both the living and the dead. That is why the good news was preached to those who are now dead. So although they were destined to die, like all people, they now live forever with the God in the Spirit. And now Psalms 119, 65 through 80. But I need a little bit of a water break. Give me 1 second. Say, hey, Isaiah. Hey, Isaiah. Oh, I need it. Sorry. That was probably longer than it should have been. I needed that, all of it, every sip. All right. Now Psalms 119, 65 through 80. It's a little muggy in my new office. It's a little muggy in here. Got to figure out what's going on with the air in this room. But let's get into Psalms 119, 65 through 80. You have done many good things for me, Lord, just as you promised. I believe your commands. Now teach me good judgment and knowledge. I used to wonder often till you did me, but now I closely follow your word. You are good and only do good. Teach me your decrees, and arrogant people smear me. Let's read it one more time. You are good and do only good. Teach me your decrees, and arrogant people smear me with lies. In truth, I obey your commandments with all my heart. Their hearts are dull and stupid, but I delight in your instructions. My suffering was good for me, for it taught me to pay attention to your decrees. Your instructions are more valuable to me than millions in gold and silver. Yoda. You made me, you created me. Now give me the sense to follow your commands. May all who fear you find me in a cause for joy, for I have put my hope in your word. I know, O Lord, that your regulations are fair. You disciplined me because I needed it. Now let your unfailing love comfort me. Just as you promised me, your servant, surround me with your tender mercies so I may live. For your instructions are my delight. So bring disgrace upon the arrogant people who lied about me. Meanwhile, I will concentrate on your commandments. Let me be united with all who fear you, with those who know your laws, blameless and keeping your decrees. Then I will never be ashamed. And now in Proverbs 28:14. Blessed are those who fear to do wrong, but the stubborn are headed for serious trouble. And now, Daniel outside the lion's den. Here you go. Outside the lion's den. Daniel outside the lion's den. Hopefully you're able to read that. Okay, now Daniel outside the lion's den. We marvel at the miracle of lions keeping Daniel alive, but perhaps even more miraculous are the choices Daniel made years before he came to face with those hungry lions. He chose to restrain himself rather than comply and defile himself with food and drink from an evil king. Excuse me. It would have been so easy to make up any excuse to do what everyone else was doing. Long before Christ walked the earth and showed us what it's like to sacrifice for the greater good, Daniel had the mind and attitude of Christ. We'll do that one more time. Daniel outside the lion's den. We marvel at the miracle. We marvel at the miracle. Locked. Locked in. There we go. We're locked. All right. Daniel outside the lion's den. We marvel at the miracle of lions not eating Daniel alive, but perhaps even more miraculous are the choices Daniel made years before he came to face with those hungry lions. He chose to restrain himself rather than comply and defile himself with food and drink from an evil king. It would have been so easy to make up any excuse to do what everyone else is doing. When Christ walked the earth and showed us what it was like to sacrifice for the greater good, Daniel had the mind, attitude of Christ. There we go. It was going to come out perfectly. It was going to come out perfectly. But hey, if you fail the first time, hey, you're alive, so try again. You're alive, so try again. All right. So since we're alive, everybody, it's time for prayer, right? All right. So since we have the ability to try again, we have this very moment to ask for the mercy and forgiveness that we need in life so that we may have the courage to try again, right? So let's get into tonight's prayer, everybody. Nice to meet everybody. If I've never seen you before, it's lovely to meet you. Thank you for joining me. I truly do appreciate your presence. Thank you. And now it's time for prayer and prayer structure, right? So let's get into the point of prayer. Just motivate you to pray more often and pray constantly all throughout the day. No matter what time, whenever it happens, just pray, right? But the purpose of prayer, right? Let's get into that. So the purpose of prayer is for you to build a closer relationship to God, right? So every day you want to be able to pray at any time. So you have those crazy thoughts when things happen in that moment. In that moment, you want to stop what you're doing right then and start talking to God immediately. Whenever something crazy happens, you don't have to wait to get back home to pray to God about it. You can talk to him right then. So the purpose of our prayer is for us to build our friendship up and our relationship with God up more, right? So what's up? Welcome back, be back. But our purpose is to build this relationship up more and be more consistent, right? So pray as much as you want to, as often as you want to, whenever possible, whatever situation shows up. Just start praying immediately, right? You want to build this relationship with God as close as possible. You want to be as comfortable as possible with God because God is blessing you. When people ask you how it happened, all you got to say is, God, me and God like these. Me and God like these, and I talk to him all the time. If you want to be like this with God too, talk to him. You know, So you don't gotta, tell him a whole bunch of stuff and tell everybody you're responsible for your relationship with God. I'm not. You're responsible for your relationship with God, and I'm not. But I'm gonna do my part in making sure that you're aware that do your part and build your relationship, right? So I'm gonna do my part here. This is me doing my part, right? So, but also, what else is the point of prayer, right? The point of prayer is God tells us all the time that we're not meant to be carrying around our burdens, right? It's said several times through our reads, but we're not to be carrying around a bunch of burdens. We're not supposed to be trying to save the world. That's not our job. Um, our job is to show everybody how good God is, and that saves the world, right? No amount of human effort is going to actually save anything. We're just going to mess stuff up repeatedly. But if we learn, right, and we actually take the advice that we've been given so graciously and use it, then it actually save the world. You never know. You never know, right? So, but but your job is not to carry around your burdens, right? They don't help you. They don't make accomplishing things easier. Actually make everything better. And what does a weak person do? What does a weak person do? Well, a weak person carries around every burden they've ever experienced in their entire life, and they hold it to their chest like it's some sword of valor, you know? And it's something that proves something, and it doesn't prove anything. It proves how weak you are by not being able to let go, right? So let's prove how strong you are by learning how to let go of things that no longer serve you anymore, or letting go of scenarios that no longer serve you anymore. Um, and these might not be things you may want to hear, but these are things you got to hear, right? So you're only hurting yourself by doing that, right? So you only hurt yourself by holding on to it. So let's be strong. Let's stop hurting ourselves, and let's learn how to let go of stuff, right? So the second part of prayer is to release your burdens, to be honest, practice honesty, and to practice not holding on to stuff because what can you do about it, right? What can you do about it if it already happened, right? And if you're holding on to fear about future situations, how is you being scared of that situation going to help you work through the situation in the future? Right? So whatever the burden is, if it's a burden from the past or if it's a burden from the future, it can all be let go. Right? So your job is to be honest about the burdens that you feel like you're carrying around. Let God know and ask for the adequate help that you need. You feel me? What's up, Kyle, bro? What's good to see you, Brody? So let go of your burdens, and that's the second and one of the most valuable things that I've learned is God is not a man that makes us carry around a bunch of burdens all the time. So don't, don't. So don't, and do your job. Do your job. Be a good example and show everybody around you that carrying around your burdens doesn't make you stronger. It makes you weaker. Carrying around your burdens doesn't make you stronger. It makes you weaker. Boo, this guy cares family and fiance. I'm married. Bro, I'm fully married. Ain't no fiance. Don't get beat up. Don't make her check in your jaw with the fist, all right? Don't make her check in the jaw with that fist, all right? Oh, man. Oh, man. But, but yeah, let's do this. Let's do this together, right? Let's do this together. All right. So now it's time for the nice prayer. So we already went over prayer structure. First part of prayer structure is as much as often as possible, as frequently as possible. That is a crazy whisperer. That is a crazy. That is hilarious. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Um, that's pretty funny. Oh, it's pretty funny. Oh man, that was funny. Okay, but all right, got sidetracked there. But um, first part is I build our relationship as strong as possible. So God is our best friend, and we want to talk to God all the time as frequently as possible. In that very moment that things happen, we want to stop what we're doing and then talk to God and ask Him for the way forward. Right? If something crazy happening, stop what you're doing right now. Take a step back, talk to God. He'll help you maneuver your way. Right? And also, other than building our friendship as strong as possible, right? To understand how much we can rely on God. Um, the second part is release any burdens that we're carrying around. Burdens don't make you stronger, they make you weaker. They show how weak you are carrying around stuff that hurts you, right? When you're attached to something that's hurting you, it shows how weak you are to not let go of something that's obviously hurting you, right? So let's go. Let's let go. That's messed up. That's not funny. The one before was funny, but this was not funny. That was not funny though. Um, you too, brother. You too, brother. And now let's get into tonight's prayer. There we go. I had to break it down twice. Just show you, just twice is nice, I guess. All right, let's get into it. It doesn't matter. All right, is everybody ready? I talked way too much here, man. I'm sorry about that, but let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Um, um, all right. This. So, all right. Let's get into prayer. All right, let's get into prayer. Okay. So how I do my prayer chat? Um, it's a fact, not a joke. Hey, chill out. Let your sock breathe then. Okay, brother? Let your sock breathe new socks then. Okay? Man, stop beating that sock to death like that. That's insane. Okay, but now it's time for prayer. Um, so God, I want to come to you tonight. I want to say thank you for today. I just want to say thank you for waking me up today. Thank you for the opportunity of today. Um, and for how much you've been opening up my eyes. How much you've been clearing out the negativity in my mind, the unjust fear, and showing me how to better work through it. You've heard my request and been doing your works. Um, you show me immediately in the first time how you can move so fast, how it can be instantaneous. But you know me, you know I'd like to also know myself. And so I want to thank you for coming into my life and helping me work through these things myself as well. Just so um, you know, you just made that level of comfort, and I appreciate you, making me comfortable with all this stuff. Um, you know, I truly do appreciate it. I see everything you're doing. I don't have to speak on everything, you know. Um, I just ask you to keep building me better, be a stronger man, and a better man in all ways, in all areas. Um, and I'll keep working on keep working on doing the best I can. Um, I truly do appreciate everything. And now, God, I just want to say, you know my second part of my prayer is coming the same way it's always coming. Um, and I want to say thank you for all of this. So thank you, God. I want to say thank you for your generational wisdom and application of your generational wisdom. God, I want to say thank you for your generational clarity and application of generational clarity. I want to say thank you for your generational discernment and your generational discernment. I want to say thank you for your generational love and application of generational love. I want to say thank you for your generational trust and application of generational trust. I want to say thank you for your generational favor and application of generational favor. I want to say thank you for your generational peace and application of generational peace. I want to say thank you for generational protection and application of generational protection. I want to say thank you for generational prosperity, application of generational prosperity. I want to say thank you for your generational joy and application of generational joy. I say thank you for forgiving my sins and my generation to come sins, God. I say thank you for the application for forgiving my sins and my generation to come sins, God. I say thank you for holding my hand and my generation to come hand, God. I say thank you for the application for holding my hand and my generation to come hand, God. And I say thank you for your generational wealth, God, and application of generational wealth. And I say thank you for your generational kingdom, God, and application of your generational kingdom. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you. And now we turn to our neighbor and we tell him we love him. I love you, my neighbor. Hey, and I love you, my neighbor over here too. I love you, neighbor. I love my neighbors. Hey, and if you got a neighbor beside you who was there with you, you feel me? Uh, During the prayer, we gotta turn to our neighbor, no matter and tell him we love him. I appreciate you for being in my life. No matter if I like you at this very moment or not, I still appreciate the fact that you're in my life because you don't gotta be here. You feel me? Um, and now it's time to go over. Same, brother. You know, this is why we yap. This is why we yap together. This is why we have such good gaps. You know, that's why we have such good gaps. You know? But tonight, chat, we read from Daniel 1:1 through 2 to verse 23. We followed up Daniel with 1 Peter 3:8 through 4 to verse 6. After Peter, we got into Psalms 119:65 through 80, and I got into Proverbs 28:14. Okay, now we're going to end tonight's read by reading Proverbs. Okay, we're going to end tonight read by reading Proverbs. Love you too, bro. Of course, man. Proverbs 28:14. Okay, blessed are those who fear to do wrong, but the stubborn are headed for serious trouble. Blessed are those who fear to do wrong, but the stubborn are headed for serious trouble. And I read that specifically for a reason, um, and I want to share that. But give me one moment to sit quietly with it, okay? Exactly. Okay. So blessed are those who fear to do wrong. The people that can either they don't they choose not to make the mistake, right? Or if they make the mistake, they know how to learn from making a mistake, right? So blessed are those who fear to do wrong, right? So people who can learn from making a mistake and then decide not to do it again, and also those who decide not to make the decision in the first place to go down the path, right? Um, you'll be blessed if you learn how to turn around and go back. You know, let your pride go. You learn how to turn away from what you've been doing and walk away from it, right? And then you'll be blessed, right? But you don't even have to make the mistake in the first, right? So also, blessed are those who decide not to do it in the first place, right? So if you have the decision to not, yeah, honestly, that's facts, bro. Most people do take mistakes to the heart instead of learning. But if you can, um, give yourself the opportunity and forgive yourself, right? And so, one thing I've learned, I got this personal coach, right? Um, and one thing I've learned from our conversations is forgiveness, right? Forgiveness, and I was trying to get this definition of forgiveness. Um, and forgiveness to me is capital G grace, right? To me, forgiveness is capital G grace, right? And I say capital G grace because God is capital G God, right? Um, there's other entities or whatever, but I consider them lowercase g gods, right? God, there's only one capital G God, right? Um, right? So I say capital G grace because that's grace from God in my mind. That's grace from the only God I actually consider being a God in the first place, right? Um, so I say capital G grace, and capital G grace is just understanding. Um, I mean, you say capital G grace for some reason, it just makes my mind click, right? And and then I see that grace is understanding, right? Um, when I have capital G grace, I forgive people more often than not because I understand more often that typically if somebody hurt me, they didn't mean to, and maybe they didn't understand that they were hurting me. Maybe they were a little at a time. It allows me to forgive them more often. I give them more grace. I mean, it's easier for me to forgive them, right? So if you're struggling with forgiving somebody, or forgiving a situation, or forgiving anything, don't let that stop you from your blessings, right? We don't want a block in forgiveness stop us from being able to get blessed, right? So if you need help with forgiveness, practice capital G grace. Start asking for more capital G grace, right? Um, so yeah, that's what I got for you, man. I can't take it no further than that. For sure, for sure. But I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Um, Try to be as straight to the point as possible. Um, well, it's not that God won't. God already forgives you. God already forgives you. You're already forgiven. The only person that doesn't forgive you is yourself, right? The only person that doesn't forgive you is yourself, right? God already forgives you, and it was automatically you're automatically forgiven. But the person who has who who has a hard time forgiving is you, you know. The only person who has a hard time forgiving is yourself, right? Automatically forgives everybody, automatically, you know. But we can't forgive our mistakes, and that's the difference. I know that's why we have a kind of a different perspective, but um, you know, automatically forgiven. There's nothing you can do that's that crazy in the first place. You know, this is why psychopaths, you know, psychopaths stay around and they're able to be psychopaths for so long because but eventually they start to feel bad, and that's when they're caught. That's back from the dark. What's up, bro? That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Have you ever seen any psychopath documentaries? I used to watch those a lot with my mom when I was a kid. Every time psychopath get caught, they start to feel bad or they get arrogant. They start to get arrogant, you know? Yeah, they start to get arrogant or extremely prideful, and then they get caught. But as long as they're not arrogant and extremely prideful, they usually never get caught. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's actually insane, you know? Um, but um, that off the wall story was just more to tell you is don't take this and don't be a path or a serial killer. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying, right? But what I'm saying is, don't take this the wrong way. If you could turn off your ability to see the wrong in the things you do, right? And please don't take this the wrong way because people are so cynical that you can't say stuff like this without them trying to make it seem like you're telling people to be bad people. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not telling people to be bad people. I'm telling you that the whole devil that we created, his whole purpose is to make God's children, you feel me, feel not worthy. You feel me? That's the whole purpose. It's his whole purpose. That's how he stops you from getting your blessings. That's how he stops you from getting your blessings. That's what I'm trying to say, you know? The whole purpose of the devil is to make God's children not feel like they're worthy for their blessings. That's his whole purpose. That's his whole play. That's his only play. You feel me? That's literally his only play, you know? So if you can remember that none of that stuff matters at all whatsoever, everybody makes mistakes. The same thing that you read in the Bible. Everybody makes mistakes. Don't get arrogant. Don't become prideful. Don't become a serial killer is what don't become a serial killer or not. Don't be arrogant or prideful, right? But the devil's whole plan, his whole playbook is to make God's children not feel worthy. So if you can stay feeling worthy the whole time, then you win. It's automatic W. You know, it's automatically a W, you know? And that's how simple it is. That's how simple this game is. Yeah, I don't know. People try to make it seem like the Matrix is such like a crazy thing. No, it's a very simple, played out game. Just to be completely honest. You feel me? That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. You know, but, you know, it's just, God is really cool. God is extremely loving. God looks out for you in every way possible, right? And the devil's whole plan is to make you stop being able to receive all the help that God gives you. That's it. That's his whole playbook. And the only way he can do that is by making you not feel worthy. That's it. That's his whole playbook. The moment you understand this, and so then from that moment forward, every time you hear some crap thought that come into your head, you know who playbook it is. His whole playbook is to make you feel not worthy. So you don't even have to question whose voice you're hearing in your head if you're hearing a voice that's trying to make you not feel worthy. It's simple, bro. It's simple, bro. He has one play. I don't understand how there's a billion people on the planet losing to one guy with one play in this whole playbook. You feel me? It's crazy to me. That's all I'm saying. It's crazy to me. That's all I'm saying. That's it. You know, it's crazy. It's insane, actually. It's actually insane. Actually. That's why I understand everybody on this planet is an insane psychopath who like BDSM or something. That's what I think. That's what I think, personally. But it's okay. I hope you figure it out, you know? I hope everybody figures it out eventually. Figures out the entire playbook this guy has. It's one play. That's all it is. It's one play. One play. Make you feel not worthy. That's it. That's his whole play. Right? Because unworthiness leads to all the other things. Just like unconditional love leads to all the godly things, unworthiness leads to all the devil's things. You feel me? Just like God has one play, you feel me? God's one play is make sure my people have unconditional love for each other, treat everybody like brothers and sisters, right? Treat everybody like your brothers. Just have respect for everybody. Open the door for somebody. Treat everybody. It's just simple stuff, right? It's very simple things, right? The devil also has one play as well, and it's to make you feel unworthy. But what does the devil's play do? It makes you go do cynical things to people. Makes you go try to steal money from. Makes you try to. So if you're making plays where you're finessing people every day, you know who your leader is. It's not hard to tell. You know, if you know who your leader is, you know who you're following. You know, you're not stupid. I won't pretend that any of you are dumb. You're not dumb. You know who your leader is. You know, and I'm gonna keep seeing right through you. I'm gonna keep on seeing right through you every time. Keep on seeing right through you. I see right through you. You're like glass. Yeah, I know who exactly your leader is. The moment you finesse somebody, I know who your leader is. I know who you're following. I know immediately. Because when you feel unworthy, you get all these unworthy acting thoughts, all these unworthy acting plays. You got all these unworthy acting schemes. And now I know who your leader is. It's the devil. And but if you're telling me about going to go help somebody, you're going to actually genuinely looking out for people because you genuinely from the bottom of your heart want to go look out for people, then I know who your leader is too. I know you feel worthy. And I know the worthiness inside of you is making you want to go help others and look out for other people because you want them to feel good too. That's all it takes to tell who somebody is serving. It's not rocket science. That's all it takes. It's not rocket science. You don't got to read 7,000 books to know, or a million books to know. You don't got to do none of that stuff to know. It's right in front of your face. And the longer you pretend it's not, the longer you have to play the game. The longer you pretend that it's not, the longer you got to play the game. How long you want to play the game? You know, that's it. You feel me? That's it. I don't like playing games. I find them very annoying. I get very annoyed with games very fast. So understand that you understand my personality and why I wouldn't continue playing the game like that. You feel me? Because I don't like video games. You can tell. You ask my homies. I get annoyed with video games. I mean, I'm over them games. I'm trying to go do something real now. Like I played video games for a little while, and now okay, I'm trying to go and move on and do something else. I have fun for a little bit of time, but I'm moving on. Like I'm not attached. So don't get attached to this game. It's just a game, you know. And I am trash at games. You know? Also, I'm trash at games, so why would I keep playing it anyways? It's not my thing. It's not my thing. You know, I'm not good at those. You know, it is what it is. I'm good at like basketball stuff, but like video games, whatever. Right? You know? But yeah. So if you want to know who somebody is serving, you can tell instantaneously. It happens immediately. From the first word in the conversation, you can tell. Not even from the words, you know. Yeah, I just play video games to spend time with the homies. That's literally the only reason why I play video games at all in general. It's I like spending time with the homies. It's a great time. It's always a great time. Even if we get mad at each other and get off the game, I still have a great time. Oh man. But yeah, man. So you know, if you want free game, go to my YouTube channel and check out this stream right here. The last one, and scroll all the way to the end of the stream. Last like 10 minutes. Get some free game. Free game that'll probably save you from something crazy, right? So I hope y'all have a blessed night, and it's time for the best outro on the internet. Stay tuned. If you've never seen this outro, you about to get the best thing on the internet you ever seen, all right? And if you have seen it, you have to say it with me. Is it, man? All right, is everybody ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's get it, gang. We all got that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. Thank you for joining me for another One Year Bible Read on the Limitless Core channel. No, Core Extended, baby. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. This is day 328 in a row. If you want to come back and join us for another day, tomorrow's at day 329, baby. Day 329 tomorrow, you feel me? Only 365 days, so we're almost to the end here, but if nobody told you, your presence, I will, bro. Your presence is the most valuable you have, right? So don't forget that, right? So if you, whether you spent a minute, whether you spent a second, whether you spent a millisecond, or whether you've been here for a while now rocking me, whatever we do on the channel, I appreciate it. You're valuable to me. Thank you, man. Hey, what's up, Abraham? Always good to see you, Brody. You caught the very end of the stream, but hey, go watch the stream. It's about to be on the channel in the live section. Like the last 5 minutes is the best part. It's the best part. But well, yeah, whether you've been here for a while now, rock with me. I truly do appreciate it, and thank you. Thank you, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your night because I'm gonna have a blessed rest of mine. Peace. I'm out of here. I'm going to see you next. Good night. See you tomorrow. Peace. We out of here. Another day down. Another successful Bible read completed. Good night, everybody. Ooh, looking kind of hot. Okay. Hold up. TikTok looking hot. Okay.